Dead man walking here. Dead man walking.
Yeah.
So, hi, you've welcomed me into your chamber for Whips and Chains night, and you've told me that we're going to record an hour-long podcast.
That was the bedroom. This is the studio.
This is the
different
studio.
area altogether.
Altogether? Sorry, I must have misunderstood.
No, so I wanted to kind of just...
Ambush me by recording a podcast together?
You could say that.
Yeah,
could say that.
We're in the living room, and you're like, we're doing this thing, and I was like, oh, shit, we are? On Father's Day, no less.
Why not on Father's Day?
I mean, Father's Day. I mean, if anything, it's topical. It makes sense. I asked you before you started the recording, and I'm glad you started recording so I could ask this question. Mm-hmm. Is the point of the name of the podcast, Dead Man Talking Here, supposed to be that, again, you have cancer? Is that the joke here?
Yes. The joke is I've got a limited amount of time on this earth.
God, don't we know it?
And I want whatever time I have left to reflect the simple fact that, yes, I've accepted the fact that, yes, I will be dying. You know, it sucks, but it's life.
And you want to record this with me and with others. Are you going to do this with Alex?
I'm hoping to do it with Alex.
I could talk to you about how to bring most of this setup with you.
No, I have like a lavalier mics for my iPhone.
Great.
And I've got a recording thing on my iPhone. Yeah. So I'm pretty much going to just do that, and then
ambush him in the same way.
Oh, I definitely will.
Yeah.
I definitely will. After a good meal, when his belly is full,
when he's complacent,
when he's complacent and he has really no brain cells to argue, then yes, I'm gonna tell him, hey, let's sit down in this room over here and
let's just talk.
Let's just talk. Let's see what's going on.
Well, for anyone listening who might be listening, my name is Malachi. I am my dad's son. This is my dad. I don't know if anyone knew that who's in the recording with me.
And my name is Joseph. I am the dad.
And funny enough, you do have cancer and you have a terminal illness.
Terminal, yes. It's a chosen terminal situation at this point.
I mean, I've been talking to countless people about the fact that you have done in the years past, like this surgery, that checkup, this test, this, pull this out of your body, put something else back into it all the time. At this point, I feel like, and we talked about this, I feel like the decision is yours, and I feel like the decision to just not go through with any further medical treatment.
Right. The thing is like, I want to feel as healthy as I can for as long as I can. And, you know, if I didn't discover this back in 2020,
Jesus Christ,
right? Then I would have found out maybe a half a year later when major symptoms had started to pop. Yeah. And so, because remember, when I had the diagnosis, they were automatically, oh yeah, it's already stage 4.
Well, yeah, I remember we had the conversation, and I remember mom pulled me aside and was like, hey, you just need to be aware. It could be a year. It could be 10 years.
Right.
It could be 50 years.
Right.
And we started having, I don't know how other families deal with this. I don't know how they do this kind of thing, but we had a conversation really early about the fact that cancer is going to kill you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Essentially, anything I do from this point forward is a death sentence.
Yeah.
And there's no getting away from that. That's the big deal. Now, I could sit here and pray all day long and see where that gets me, but I'm not a strong believer in faith, so that really wouldn't do me any good.
And I'm not either.
I've just talking with my family and the people locally here, a lot of them, understand and are like good with it. And others are like, well, we'll pray for you anyway. And I'm like, I'm good with that. You can pray for me. I'm okay. Please do, because if it does help, then
there you go. We'll put your chips down wherever they like.
Right, wherever because I play the spread, and that's pretty much it, So
and here we are.
Yeah, those who want to pray, I'm more than welcome to take the prayers. Those who want to wish me well, I'll take the well wishings. Those who think I should, fight and continue with the chemo and this, that, and the other, well, you've never been on chemo, so you don't know
Yeah.
how the fuck that feels.
That shit irritates me.
Well, and that's the thing, it's like I spoke to my aunt. My aunt is extremely religious right now.
Yeah.
And she was like saying, well, there's got to be something you can do. And I'm like, Thea, I know I live in Fresno. And I know Fresno's not the hub of major medical issues, but we have the internet.
Uh-huh.
And the internet usually goes and gathers information from all over the world.
In case anyone's listening, if you didn't know what the web was, my dad's going to explain it to you.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I mean, you also being in the medical field have a way to contact with expedience X person, Y person, Z person to be like, what could I do? It's not like you have had your head in the sand and be like, damn, I have cancer. Nothing to do about it. For the past 4 years, you've been doing things about it.
Right.
And here we are.
Yeah.
So
and
it's,
the last bit of information that I got was, well, there's this medication that we're going to use, and it's not going to do the same as the rest of it, but you will lose your hair, and you will shit yourself, and you will, fucking have chronic this, that, or the other.
I hear those are your favorite things.
Oh yeah, I love that on a regular basis, and yeah, one of my big deals is the simple fact that, I feel good right now.
It'd be nice if it stayed that way.
Yeah, and if it could stay this way until I drop dead, great. But I know it's not going to. And the thing is that I'd much rather feel good now for the duration that I have, so that I can go visit my family and go enjoy a weekend with my son, and go enjoy, the time that we have together, so that I could sit there and say, I love you, and not feel like I'm being a burden on you.
I think also part of it is the feeling that you don't want to. I know from knowing that you don't want it to be where like something wasn't done or something wasn't said or anything like that. Right. And I know that's definitely playing a part of it too. Which is why you ambushing me basically in the hallway, being like, "We're going to record an hour-long podcast or whatever." Well, no, I'm not surprised.
For real, honestly, I just I think that this is good to talk about.
I think so too.
I think it's good to talk about, to get off our chest, to figure out what, so you can understand my wishes, and then I can understand your concerns, essentially.
I mean, I have a lot of not wishes. I don't. I have a lot of concerns. I have a lot of feelings. We all do. I mean, I was talking to Mom about them last night. I've been talking with my wife about them for fucking months. Blah blah blah. That's what a lot of people don't understand when they talk to me about it, because I had to tell my work. I had to tell my boss about that. Hey, I have to go for Father's Day weekend because I have to see my dad because he has cancer, and also I'd like to see my dad. And one of my main gripes about this entire process, which I don't know if selfish or personal is the way to put it. I don't care. We're having this conversation. Everyone's just like, hey, I'm so sorry for you. Or I want to do everything I can for you. Or do I want to look up something for you? It's like, that's not helping me. That's not helping my dad. I understand that other people have emotions about what's going on with my life, but it's mine.
Right.
And it really irritates me when people are like, hey, just let me know if there's anything you can do for me.
Well, that's the funny thing, because like whenever I get that, I'll ask. Yeah, I'm that asshole.
What you gonna ask them? What are you gonna do for me?
No. They'll say, if there's anything I can do, just let me know. Okay, yeah. I got a car note that needs to be paid. If you want to pay it off, that'd be great.
Yeah, come over tomorrow at 10 a.m. with coffee and a box of cookies.
Right. I've got a fucking house that needs to be painted.
God, you do.
You can come in here and fucking paint my house.
Again, Alex and I, for those listening, Alex is our brother. We'll paint the ceiling again.
Right, but the last time we painted the ceiling, we had to repaint the ceiling.
Yeah, because we did such a good job.
Such a terrible fucking job.
A great job that you didn't want the neighbors to be jealous if you're well painted. Right. I do remember the color being different in one part of the ceiling versus the other.
Yeah, I remember the business cards you guys made up, right?
I don't. Did we make a business card as a joke?
Yeah, Two Stooges.
Oh, well, hello. Hilarious. It irritates me to no end, because it's similar to how, and the position you're in is different than mine. We're in two very different positions circling around the same subject, which is that you're going to die from cancer.
Right.
And countless people are talking to you, wishing, with their prayers and their condolences, and I'm not going to make assumptions or judgments on how you feel about that, and I'm sure you'll tell me or have those feelings. It irritates me to no end when people tell me, it's like, hey, I'm sorry about your dad, because your sorry isn't going to do fucking anything for me.
And that's true. And usually what I say to those people, because I'll get that all the time. I'll get that tilt of the head.
Yeah.
And that, oh, I'm sorry for you. Don't feel sorry.
Yeah, they have that look like I dropped a scoop of ice cream.
Yeah.
It's like,
fucking just be glad I'm standing here talking to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Standing here talking to you, not going on a fucking, a rampage of killing spree or fucking robbing some banks because I know I only have 6 months or whatever the fuck to
buying
live.
a Ferrari, slamming it into a bank.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be sorry. That's the big deal. I don't want your pity.
It doesn't do anything.
Right. I want your respect, and I want your acceptance of the fuck that I'm dealing with. That's it.
Yeah.
Dealing
currently.
Yeah. And that's all. That's all I want. I don't, like if you want to buy me lunch after that, great. I'll fucking take your lunch. If you want to fucking pay for my house note for the next month, guess what? I'm gonna get that from you.
I'm gonna accept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not turning that shit down.
Yeah.
One of the things that bothers the shit out of me is like I wanted to do a GoFundMe because I worry. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I worry about my finances from this point to the point I die, only because I know that mom doesn't have a job that will cover our notes.
Yeah.
And that worries me.
Yeah, but don't you have things set up in the background?
I do, but not enough.
And that's the thing. And now we're going to ramble about capitalism for 50 minutes, everybody. And that's the thing. No matter how much you're prepared for, even if I think you 30 years ago were told that you're going to die from cancer, that wouldn't have changed our preparations. I don't think necessarily.
No, I think it would have. I think it would have changed the preparations and how we prepare. The biggest issue, though, is that we don't think, when we're healthy, we don't think that anything's going to bother us. Even if we're not healthy, even if we're somewhat, like, okay, so I'm diabetic, right?
You've got problems.
Yeah, I've got all these problems that are lifestyle problems. Did I think about 25 years ago when I first found out I was diabetic that maybe I should get an insurance policy? No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I maybe 10 to 15 years later I did.
Yeah.
When I lost one of my toes, at that point I was like, fuck, maybe I should do something about it.
You were like, I think this diabetic thing is kind of serious.
Right. And so and then, all of a sudden, and it wasn't all of a sudden, this shit was slowly creeping up on me.
Yeah.
And I knew it. I just never really did anything majorly about it. I mean, yeah, I tried to lose weight. I went on the fucking fad diets and all this other shit.
You did other things too. You've changed different kinds of medications.
Right.
You did kind of different kinds of blood test strips. Like you've done all kinds of different stuff.
I've tried everything under the sun that would help. And I was taking other people's advice also. My aunt turned around and she was like, maybe you should drink, cinnamon and well, no, for real, cinnamon does work.
No, I know cinnamon has some medicinal herbal properties, but I just imagine you with a giant like beer keg, just like downing cinnamon.
Well, and that's the problem. You need like 4 tablespoons of cinnamon in the morning to combat your blood sugar. 4 tablespoons of cinnamon.
That's a lot of cinnamon.
Is a lot of fucking cinnamon.
Of cinnamon.
And I don't know if anyone's had cinnamon, but cinnamon is like drinking sand.
It's one of the driest spices out there.
Super dry, yeah.
So you have to mix it.
Right. And if you put it in a tea, that's great. You could drink the tea, but you've just diluted the fucking cinnamon.
Yeah.
And you have to drink that whole fucking pot of tea
in order
to get that help. And that's the thing. I mean, yeah, I probably would have changed a lot of the shit that I wanted to do. I might have invested in some wicked startup companies and shit like that and wasted a bunch of money.
I mean, I've always also had the thought if I went back in time, I'd invest in Apple and then like sell it at some point. Who hasn't had that thought?
Right. And that's the thing. The key though is that if you're young enough, like your age right now.
Geez, me? Wow.
You should invest in a life insurance policy that at a certain term, and they're called term life insurance, at a certain term, you get paid out.
Oh, the person who's still alive?
Yeah.
Oh, what a thought.
Otherwise, your beneficiary gets paid out.
I see.
So things like that, where you pay into it, and yes, there's no yield. You get a set amount of money. So if you put in $50,000 and your policy is only $50,000, then you're only going to get $50,000. If it's a $100,000 policy and you put in $50,000, your beneficiary, if you pass away before the end of your term, then your beneficiary gets paid $100,000, even though you put in $50,000 for it.
Man, that sounds like a scam.
They kind of are. They kind of are.
Hope no one's listening to this hoping for actual.
Don't take any financial advice from either one of us.
No, this is just our conversations around our experiences around these things.
Yeah. Your best bet would be to have a life insurance policy separate from your work.
Yeah.
And also a life insurance policy from your work. So if you because you're becoming a salaried employee.
Hell yeah, I'm employed again.
Yeah, then you should look into all the benefits that your company is offering as far as accidental death and life insurance. Those are two different things.
Yeah, the dismemberment ones are always fun to read because they always have details on how dismembered you get and like the amount of that you'll be given because of that. Yep. Anyway. No, I agree. That's something I'm going to be looking into when I start my role coming next month.
But you should also look into the the secondary portion of it, like the life insurance outside of your job. Something that when you you pay for it post-tax dollars.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Man, that sounds like it sucks.
It kind of does.
Yeah.
But it's a guarantee.
That's the weird part. We're talking about life insurance, and you said the word guarantee, and it's like it's a guarantee for when you unknowingly die.
Yes.
And we're talking about you having cancer, and I really like this curved monitor you have. Sorry, I got distracted. We're talking about the fact that you have cancer, and I was telling Mom, and I was telling you, and I told Alex, I don't want to know when the day is. Even if the doctor tells you it's this date at this time, be there at the hospital. So we all can have flags and poppers and fireworks or something. I don't want to know.
For me, I think it would be. I think that would be better.
Flags and poppers and fireworks.
No.
Knowing
than not knowing.
No, because here's the thing, and I think that's fair, and I think you should have your feeling about it. I know that if I know today to the day you die, I'm gonna go insane. I'm not gonna be able to do my job. I'm not going to be able to have the relationships I have.
No, and that's understandable.
Yeah.
What I meant was, if I knew.
If you knew.
Yeah, if I knew, kind of like in Death Note, or not Death What was that anime?
I mean, Death Note. I never watched that. I don't watch anime.
Okay, so there was an anime where these people could see how long these other people had.
Oh, they could see a time?
They could see their number. They had a number.
Oh, I did hear about this.
There's this anime. I can't remember the name of the anime. Yeah. So, anyone listening, if you fucking know that anime,
I don't know, drop a like in the comment. Smash that subscribe button. Fucking,
But yeah, the anime showed this one dude had 57 years.
Yeah.
And he was already 52. You know what I mean? And then this other kid had 3.
Yeah, wasn't the concept of that you could swap time with other people? I can't remember.
I don't know if they could swap time, but I think that they would. I think what ended up happening was these two kids had to change something in their life to affect the lives of the others. And so if they did something that they would affect their life, let's say that kid with 3 years. If they did something to affect that life, then that kid would have more years.
It would change their time.
The number would change.
Yeah.
Then the amount of time would change. And it was I can't remember the fucking name of it.
Well, regardless, if you could, you were saying how if you could have known. Yeah.
And if I knew like how much time I had, then that would be something that I could come to terms with, and it'll also be something that I could accept, in the sense that okay, well, this is how much I got, and this is what I got to do before then. You know what I mean? Type of thing. Because we all think that we're invincible, and once we think we're invincible, then that's usually when the clock starts ticking.
I mean, I used to think I was invincible when I was a teenager, and then I got a job. And then you actually prepared me very well for working in the workforce. On it, to tell everyone here, my dad taught me how to drive and taught me how to get a job. I think he also taught me how to shave. All of that information was useful.
If I taught you how to shave, I failed.
Yeah, I don't need to shave. You have a beard, I have a beard. What's the point? I wish Alex could grow a little bit more of a fuller beard, to be quite honest. He has a really good job of doing a neck beard, but I wish he had a more full beard.
Which looks just like dirt on his neck. That's all it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, he's good at growing it, though. Shit, what were we talking about?
Preparing you for having your job.
Yeah. Dad, you prepared me for everything. I don't mind, and I don't think the people that are listening to this, even if it's nobody, even if no one's listening to this, I think it's important to say that I'm adopted. You adopted me.
Yes. And
I was telling Mom last night.
By choice, even.
By choice. Yes. You did choose. The documents did go through. I was telling Mom last night, it's like, I know that we're all having conversations right now about the fact that you're going to die. And I know that between my brother and I, we both have very similar feelings. We called the other night and we had a heart to heart, and it was incredibly painful. And I was thinking, and I haven't brought this up with him, but I want to, that I don't understand how I'm supposed to live with the concept that I didn't have a father for 15 years. And then I did have a father for 15 plus years. And now I'm not going to have one again. That's a very unique perspective and feeling.
For sure.
Mom was saying I should just talk to Alex and say those words, and that Alex would understand. I don't know.
He may not.
Yeah.
It just depends on, because like he's never really known anyone else to be his father.
Yeah. And he's never had that feeling. He's never had that. Him and I are incredibly different. He's never had that feeling of relying on oneself alone.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that that's not a feeling he's had to have. But now things are changing.
Yeah, for real. One thing that you could do, and this is just a suggestion, but one thing that you could do is you could have a child.
So that's the thing. I guess we could talk about it here. Fucking why not? Well, Chelsea and I have been trying to have children for 6 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We've.
But there's other methods of having children.
Oh yeah, you could pick them up off the street. I keep mentioning to just go kidnap one, and Chelsea's not about it.
I mean, it's illegal here in the States, but if you go to Mexico, I'm sure you can find somebody.
Bring them over.
That's willing to sell you their kids.
Anyway. We've been wanting to have kids earlier rather than later.
And I think earlier is better.
Well, yeah,
because the later it is, then the tougher it is for you to be motivated to engage with that child.
Really? Did you have a hard time feeling motivated to us?
No, because I had Alex young. And so like everything that I did with him was in the peak of my existence, essentially.
I mean, yeah, because like Alex and I were born right near end of high school for you and Mom, in that zone of time of someone's life.
Right.
And here I am at the age of 32 in 2 days, BTW, and I'm not in that same zone. I'm not going to have the perspective when I raise kids of, God, I'm in my 20s. And I have a kid. I'm going to have the perspective of, I'm in my 30s and I have a kid. And that's vastly different.
Yeah, it is definitely different.
Yeah.
It's way different because, number one, right now you're focused on a career. And when you have children, one of you cannot be 100%
Well,
focused on a career.
I mean, I think we've had this conversation. I'm not sure. It's like I've never been focused on a career too much due to my own reasonings. One of them being you told me to go to clown college when I was young in life, and I decided not to do that. And that was the worst thing ever. I should have gone to clown college. But based on my level of education and based on where I've gone in life, I was in retail for a long time. And now finally, I'm about to pick up a salary role.
Right. But so, I mean, college isn't for everybody.
Fuck college. Don't go. It's a scam.
Yeah, college isn't for everybody.
They don't teach you shit.
I mean, I think they give you a good socialization.
Go to a trade school.
Right.
You should go to a trade school.
Nobody knows what a trade school is.
They should go into welding. That's what they should go into. Everyone needs steel.
Nobody knows what a trade school is now.
Well, they should. And you know who taught me about a trade school? It was you.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to be vastly different when I raise kids, and I think that's okay. I don't think I'm going to lose motivation, and I say that specifically because of the way that I was raised. I tell Chelsea all the time, it's like, when I went into the world, I wanted to have a relationship with the person that I love that was like the relationship that you and Mom have.
Okay.
And I've always felt that when I have
you like to
children,
argue all the time?
we do like to argue all the time. People usually leave the room when we start bickering, and that's how I know our love will last till the end of time.
Okay.
Because you and Mom are still together. I don't know how, but you do love each other, and that's what matters. I want to be able to raise our kids also the same kind of philosophies that you've taught me. Some of them are a little bit fucked up and don't necessarily work, knowing that Alex and I are in this world, but that doesn't mean that you didn't do them because you did them out of love. I assume either that or you just wanted to kick us out of the world and see what happened.
Let's touch on that. What philosophy are you speaking of in particular?
Well, there's so many things that you did for us as children. I think one of my most hated and also like, okay, I get it, was you very much were just like pushing me out of the nest without ever teaching me how to fly. You very much were like, your hands are on the wheel of that car. I hope you turn and brake soon enough because that curb's coming real fast. Just that kind of philosophy, the way you've done stuff, or the way you treated Alex and I. And I think we can be honest, I don't think the way you treated Alex and I was very different. But at the same time, we came from very different skill sets and backgrounds.
Right. You did come from two different skills. Like for you, it was harder. Yeah. And the reason why it was harder is because you were already being groomed to be something different.
Yeah.
And when you came into my life, we had to undo. You had literally the Miyagi-san, unlearn what you've learned type of shit so that you can learn the way that's going to help you.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, with Alex, Mom actually taught him how to drive.
And that's why I was telling Mom earlier, I'd love to say it here.
Right.
Alex has the highest record for hitting moving objects.
Uh-huh.
I have the highest record of hitting unmoving objects. So I don't know what that tells you about the teaching styles of the two of you.
So I don't understand either one of that because your mom has like confirmed kills, okay, when it comes to car accidents, and I have none.
Uh-huh.
I think I've destroyed my wheel once.
Right, yeah.
Falling asleep at the wheel. I'm not joking here. 100% destroyed my fucking wheel. My insurance fucking went up. The whole nine.
You have to pay the consequences of your actions. That's how life works.
But I've never hit any other vehicle. I've never been in a moving accident.
I've also never hit another vehicle, but I've hit plenty of buildings that were not moving. Also, most of the time I was going 2 miles an hour.
Oh my god!
So I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
I don't know.
You saw the scrape on my wife's car outside.
Yeah,
it's on the side. Yeah, that was me trying to escape a parking lot.
Oh my god!
It wouldn't take my card to raise up the arm so I could escape, so I just bumped that curb and went right on over.
Oh my god!
I learned from you, Dad. Something about taking action in one's own hand or something like that. I don't remember. Your lessons blur together as I've gotten older.
Yeah, I guess they do.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have said, hey,
pop that curb.
Go around the curb because you know what? If you can't get out, you can't get out. No, I think I would have said, call that number first.
Well, as I recall in this scenario, I did call the number and it was after hours. So I had to carpe the diem and make my own destiny.
I see.
Yes. I think that's what you would have chosen. I say that now in hindsight. In the moment, I was just like, how do I get home? Where am I going?
I probably would have had a rope or a tie down in my car.
To do what? To lift up the arm?
Yes, to lift up the arm.
Now that's ingenious thinking right there.
That's probably
Yeah.
what I've done, because I think I have some tie downs in my car.
Or I could have used a saw and sawed the arm.
Yeah, you could have.
And that's public property damage, though.
Well, I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is, yes. Yeah, I definitely want to take the lessons that I've learned from you and try my best to teach them to our own children. But also, the lessons that you gave me are not the same lessons that are going to apply to my own children, which is also rough.
The thing is, though, is that you're not supposed to take the lessons and teach them verbatim.
Yeah, things change.
Yeah, because it's not a cult.
So weird.
You have to take those lessons the way you were taught, with a grain of salt. And you have to.
Are you telling me you are infallible? Like there is fault in you? Are you telling me?
Yeah. There's fault in me up one side and down the other.
As I recall, as a child, your word was law.
Right. No, it was.
But now
you lived in my house. You obeyed my rules.
Yeah, I remember
Plain
that.
and simple.
I remember those conversations.
Plain and simple.
You're gonna get a job. You're gonna learn how to drive a car. You're gonna get out there.
And when you have your own home, your law is law.
Chicken every night.
Whatever that is.
Send those kids to clown school.
The way you're going to raise your kids are going to be the way you raise your kids. But when you say no, that's the law.
Well,
right?
Yes, it is. And Alex and I fucking got into so much trouble as kids, though. We tested all of your patience.
Absolutely.
All the time.
Absolutely. But you knew what to do and what not to do, right?
Correct. And that's what matters. Because when you told me don't step on a nail because it hurts, at that point it was up to me whether or not I did it or not.
Absolutely.
And I took those lessons, and I've led those lessons through life to realize that when I do things, there's consequences. Mm-hmm. I don't know why Alex has always had a harder time with that lesson, personally.
See, here's my take on him. I think, and this is just me, but I think that there was a certain point in his life where he lost his identity. He did not know who he was.
Yeah.
And in that time of his life, he questioned everything. He questioned my authority. He questioned his mom's authority. He questioned
his own agency.
Authorities. Yeah. So the biggest issue with that is that when he finally found his voice, when he finally found who he was,
his sector, his zone. Yeah.
He was still a little confused, and he wanted to do things his way, and unfortunately, that's not how it works. And
saying that's not how it works is rough, though, because the path he's taken, whether it be a cruise ship plowing through a harbor, it's the path that went.
Right. It's the path that he had survived.
Yeah.
At this point, but now he's got a child.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now he's got a child of his own.
Not only that, but he's parents to 2 other teenage children.
Yeah.
Okay. Not to mention he's also co-parenting with another little girl the same age as his own daughter. Okay.
Yeah, they've got a conglomerate situation over there, which is great and all, but he's knee deep in everything.
But not only that, but that's a different dynamic.
Yeah.
That is such a different dynamic. And the reason why I know that's a different dynamic, because when I was growing up, I was in a similar situation. I was being raised by 4 different people. 2 of them had one idea to raise me, and the other 2 had a different idea to raise me. And they would argue back and forth all the time as to, no, this is how it needs to go, and no, this is how it needs to go, and they need to come live with us, and no, they need to come live with me, and this, that, and the other. And yeah, I was in that situation. And it caused confusion, but it also taught me how to manipulate people.
And if you're taking anything from this, if you're listening to this, it's that you should manipulate those around you.
No, you shouldn't manipulate those around you. You should garner their kindness and respect that. But it did teach me how to manipulate people, and that was the bad out of that situation.
Yeah.
It was good in the sense that as I grew older, I understood what that superpower was, and I understood that I should use it for good, not evil.
Well, when you say this, and I remember plenty of lessons we had where it was like you telling me what needs to get done. And I would not necessarily say you manipulated me into doing things, but I would definitely say you'd lay the facts straight out. And it's like, you could do it the easy way or the hard way. and you get to pick. And me every time being like, I don't fucking like that, and doing it what you had said was the easier way because you knew.
Well, understand it's all a choice.
Yeah.
It's all a choice in your life. Right now, you have choices.
Yeah.
We all have choices. Just like I've chosen to not pursue anything with this cancer, it's a choice.
And it's a choice that you have, and it's a choice that you have the right to have. And I don't know what your expectation was on that phone call we had in May. The phone call we had where you laid it down. You were like, this is what we're doing. And you said, we have choices. Mm-hmm. We could continue chemo or not. I knew that you weren't going to.
Yeah.
And I remember you asked me what I want. And I said that I support you. And I still do. We have choices. And we have to make them. And we have to live by them.
Yeah, absolutely. You are nothing of anything if you cannot stand by your choices.
Yeah.
If you cannot respect the fact that other people have choices also. And they all weigh differently on people. And I know this. I know every single time I talk to somebody and I got to tell them, hey, guess what? I got cancer and it's terminal. Oh, well, what are you doing about it? Well, I'm planning on not doing anything about it.
And even you making that choice and having that choice of doing nothing about it, and then suddenly the ball is in their hands of, well, what are they going to do about this now?
Right.
And no matter what we do, even if it's inaction, that affects other people.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I know that the many people that I've spoken with within the last couple of weeks, it's like they ask me, well, what the fuck are you doing here? Like the last couple of weeks I've been at the union shop.
Yeah.
And I've told those people that I work with, I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this, but
you're doing it.
This is what I like to do.
Yeah.
And here I am. Well, what the fuck are you doing here? How come you're not at home spending with your family? Well, my wife is at work and my kids fucking live halfway across the world sometimes.
Yeah, but one of them lives farther, and I want you to keep that in mind until the day you pass on. One is farther and one is closer.
Sure. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's me, if you forgot. I'm the closer one.
Yeah, I don't know why you when you come visit, you don't come visit me.
What do you mean why I don't come visit you? I see you, but you go to work. Like you just said, you like burning the candle at both ends, though, and I don't blame you for it. I don't, because I also like to be busy, too.
It's what I like to do.
I don't know. We're all different. Part of the reason why I like to stay busy and the part of the reason why I like investing myself into, again, I'm about to start this salary job, is that I want to keep feeling like the things I'm doing are changing things. I want to feel like the things I'm doing have not only purpose, but that they matter. And I know that that's the same reason you're doing things right now.
The only reason why I want to stay working is because it gives me that purpose. The only reason why I want to do this is because it gives me a purpose to do something. I could stay at home all fucking day. I can go on disability right now if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And not have to fucking worry about another thing except for my bills and my fucking notes and all the excess money that I'm going to be losing between now and the time that I cannot physically work. That's what bothers me. And so, do I want to be on the sidelines and on disability? No, I don't. I don't feel disabled right now. I know I'm considered 100% disabled, but I do not feel disabled.
I mean, and I'll say from my perspective of being your son, and when I visit, it's like you get up and you head out into that life, and you have quality of life issues. We all do. Mm-hmm. We all have. My back hurts, and I'm in the age of my 30s. People's legs give out. People have issues. Their eyesight gets worse. We're all getting older. We're all going to die.
Yeah.
Even if it is still sad, even though if that's still true, it is a fact.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is that if you don't do what you enjoy, then you shouldn't be doing it.
I think it's true, and I think that's true whether or not you have a terminal illness or not.
Right, for real.
I think a lot of people don't consider that.
Yeah, because if you're in that dead-end job and you don't like that job and you don't like what you're doing, find something that you can do that will make you happy first and then make you money.
Yeah.
And if that's something that you can turn into a career but not consider it to be work, then that's the ultimate goal.
I mean, that is the ultimate goal. That's like air quote an American dream in a sense.
Well, so let me put it into perspective. My goal was to get less or I'm sorry,
Work less, earn more.
Work less, get paid more.
That's called the Cambrian way, everybody.
That's called the Cambrian way, exactly.
Yeah.
And the goal was achieved 7 years ago when I started with a certain company here in town that shall not be named. But I get paid 40% more than the average bear doing the job that I do.
Yeah.
And that is something that is breathtaking, in my opinion. And not only that, but you know what? I don't complain when I go to work because I've worked in that shit shop where you have to fucking bust your ass for 60 plus hours just to fucking make ends meet.
Yeah, just to make
a
check.
Ends meet.
Yeah.
And so now I work a 20-hour shift and I get paid a shit ton of money to push a button, and I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah.
And the amount of hours that I work are nothing compared, like everybody talks about a work-life balance, right? I pretty much have a work-life balance.
Yeah, I feel like you do.
Yeah. I don't have to get up early. I work until 10. I get off of work. I come home. I decompress for an hour, and I go to bed. And then I'm back up the next day.
Yeah.
During the day, I take care of whatever I got to take care of, or I sit on my ass until I have to go to work.
Because you can do that.
Because I can do that.
You've set up your life that way.
Yeah. And so now the next goal for me is to not work and still get paid.
And you know what? Well, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Well, I'm working at it with this.
Right now, yeah.
And that's the thing. Granted, I'm not expecting to become the next fucking Joe Rogan or fucking anyone else out there. But hopefully people will take these conversations that I'm having and find some insight in them.
I hope so too. And it's difficult when I think about this right now because we're going to hear people who this is hindsight.
Yes.
This is the conversation that's entirely in hindsight, and someone's going to listen to this and you probably won't even be here anymore.
No, maybe not.
Or I'll listen to this in 5 years and I'm going to hate what I'm hearing, but it doesn't make it any less important that it's being said.
Right. And that's the key there is that if it moves you in any way, whether that be positively, negatively, or one side or the other, you know what I mean?
It still affects us.
It still affects you, and it still will give you something to think about, and that's the key, is that you want to be able to have that something to think about.
Well, I think there was like a philosopher that said something about, I don't remember which, but like as long as somebody's thinking about you, that means that you still exist in a sense because you're still having an effect on the universe that's around you.
I think you're thinking of Coco.
What do you mean, Coco? You mean the Disney movie?
Yeah, the Disney movie.
No. There was a philosopher who was like, as long as someone's thinking about the actions and impacts you've had on existence. Like, as an example, somebody in the universe made seedless bananas. And I still think about how fucked up that is because they eradicated an entire genus of seeded bananas.
Well, they actually didn't eradicate the genus of banana. What they did was they manipulated the
genetics of
the banana so that we could have a more tasty banana.
Fucking
the original
fucked up that
the
banana.
Original banana was meatier, yes, and it had huge seeds.
Yeah.
But the bananas that we get today in the store, those are just a
genetic byproduct.
A genetic byproduct.
It's a mutated banana.
Right.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about bananas on the podcast? Is that what you wanted?
It doesn't matter. Again, we're talking about whatever comes up.
Anyway, so when you think about that, it's like that person who did this, that person whose achievement was to fuck up bananas. We're gonna think about that forever, and in a sense, that person still affects us.
I mean, you gotta think. You gotta take his thinking though. His thinking wasn't to fuck up a banana.
Right.
His thinking was
that's fine.
Thinking was how can I make this fruit
better,
taste better.
I understand that. But the end results are what still echo throughout time.
Right. And we're eating the end results.
And now. I don't eat bananas.
Neither do I.
I hate bananas.
I love bananas, but that's beside the point. They have too much potassium in them.
I need more potassium. I fucking.
Then you should eat a fucking banana.
A huge potassium deficiency.
They have these bananas that they dip in chocolate.
Fuck that.
And they're frozen.
No, I hate that.
You could fucking eat those.
I don't. I like it when things separate from bananas taste like banana.
You know, the flavor of banana is not really a flavor.
I know that.
That's chemically induced.
That's a better flavor than
No,
banana.
it's not.
It's better than banana.
That's the worst
This
flavor.
is my opinion that they're better than banana. Or just give me a potassium pill.
Yeah, you could do that, or
Yeah.
just eat some tomatoes. They have
I
potassium.
don't like those either.
You don't fucking like tomatoes.
I don't like most fruits.
Oh my
I
god.
don't like most fruits.
You know, you could have any fruit out there that has potassium. Potatoes have potassium.
Potatoes are technically not a fruit; they're a root.
Yeah, but
Oh yeah, and I eat shit tons of potatoes.
Potatoes.
I love potatoes. You don't need to talk to me about potatoes. I love me some potatoes.
I'm not talking about the processed shit like the tots and the fries.
No. I'm talking
talking-
about the raw whole
Okay.
rock, and then you cut it up and you put it in the pan, you fry it with some spices, and then there
Okay.
you go. You have potatoes.
Or just bake it and have some butter
You
with
could,
it.
yeah, you could totally bake it. Twice baked potato.
Maybe.
Here's my question for you then, since to get back on the topic of cancer.
Sure.
Is there anything that you're planning on doing between now and the day that's, I'm not talking about like a bucket list, but you're just like, man, I'd love to have a baked potato at some point soon.
Oh no, dude, you didn't breakfast. I fucking had 2 fucking orders of fries.
I saw that. I saw you have 2 orders of fries, and I was just like, Dad's having a big day.
You know, I only asked for extra fries. I didn't ask for a second order, but I figured extra fries to them was like maybe 4, and I wanted more than 4 fucking extra fries. You know, so that's, and I actually thought you guys were gonna have some,
Not at all.
but I noticed that you cleaned your fucking plate.
I regret ordering French toast. I had way too much sugar.
Yeah.
This morning, I actually texted my wife. I was like, please stop me from ordering French toast because I cannot not eat the whole entire thing.
You know,
I felt sick.
Your mom was the same way. We went to that the one fucking place in town that does Belgian waffles, and
IHOP?
No. It's some hole in the wall place. I can't even remember the name of it.
Okay.
But it used to be Batter Up, and now I don't know the name.
Oh, right. And then it changed. Yeah.
Then it changed. But it was a decent place. You know, it had good food. I got to admit that. But they gave us, they brought over a churro waffle.
Wow.
So it was a waffle, right?
Was it in the shape of a churro?
No. It was
churro
it was
flavored.
a fucking Belgian waffle
Uh-huh.
that had whipped cream and cinnamon and some other shit on it.
That sounds great.
Yeah, and it was
It
delicious.
sounds like it would hurt my chest.
But it wasn't what your mom ordered. Your mom ordered a
Oh.
regular Belgian waffle, and so she was gonna send it back, and they said, "Well, do you want it?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, fucking leave it. It's churro flavored. So
Yeah.
fuck it. I love churros, cinnamon and sugar. Who fucking what can go wrong?"
Yeah.
That was the sweetest motherfucking thing that
Yeah.
I've ever eaten, and
I
I
bet.
regret eating that shit
Yeah.
because, like, I was in a fucking coma, like a sugar coma. As soon as that shit, I crashed hard.
I have no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, I crashed hard, and it, you know, I injected and I did everything I was supposed to, and my fucking sugar level still red high.
Yeah.
And this was a couple hours later, and yeah, it was good. Your mom actually had a piece of it, and she liked it, but it wasn't for her because it was the churro flavor.
I remember in my early 20s, I would go to, I don't remember if it was IHOP or something, but I'd get a Belgian waffle with whipped cream, powdered sugar, brown sugar, 2 scoops of ice cream, and I would eat that. And now I'm 32, and I can't do that anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. Nowadays, you know, and you're probably getting to that age where you might become lactose intolerant.
I mean, I already don't even drink regular milk.
Yeah.
I arrived in town, and I kept being told by people it's like that I've lost weight. And last March, 2023 March, my doc was like, hey, you're 200 pounds. I don't know, walk a little more. And then I got a job where I started walking more, and I took a job where I now take the train to work, and I lost weight. I'm now, I think, like 170.
Oh, that's good. That's
and
good.
Now everyone's like, you look like you need to eat more. And I'm like, what do you want from me?
Well, you gotta figure where it's coming from.
That's a good question, because
Yeah.
like now I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna be like, hey hun, we need to eat deeper, bigger meals because apparently I'm underweight. I'm probably fine. I'm probably just perfect.
You don't need to eat. You don't need to eat.
I'm
more.
sure.
No.
I'm sure I'm fine, but I should exercise more because I don't know if you're listening to this, my dad is jacked, just like hella ripped.
Fuck.
Just a 12-pack, right?
No.
No? Okay. I didn't know if you wanted to give that illusion to anyone listening.
No,
okay.
I'm fine. But you definitely don't need to eat more.
No, I'm sure I'm fine.
You could probably, maybe you could walk more.
I need to. We were talking about earlier. I just need to get my blood tested for that whole diabetes thing.
That and maybe work out just a little bit more.
I should. I want to do more squats.
You can do body weight exercises, push-ups, sit-ups.
Didn't they prove push-ups are bullshit?
Who?
The world?
No. They work a specific muscle set.
Because I heard it really puts a lot of pressure on your wrists, so it's not healthy because of that. It does build arm muscle, but how fucks up the wrists?
Jacking off is not healthy either.
I would argue
and there's
that
there's millions of people who have Popeye forearms because they fucking know what side that they need to use.
You got to switch off and on each time.
Right.
With equal, it's called doing sets.
Right. It's called doing sets. Yes. You stroke with one arm and you stroke with the other. And one side is the familiar and the other side is the strange.
See, here's the thing. God, I hate that you said that. Here's the thing. I was considering hey, I'm going to listen to this when I'm older, and I'm going to listen to this, and maybe have my kids listen to it. I don't know about now.
Maybe not.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know about that now.
Or maybe so.
Just
maybe it's some good information.
Hey, this is just unfiltered life advice. Here you go.
That's it.
My dad says to switch off arms when you're jacking it.
Switch arms.
Yeah, I thought.
That's how you build forearm strength.
See, when it's the left arm, I'm talking about this. When it's the left arm, it's called the stranger. And so what you can do is you can put it underneath your thigh.
No. The stranger is the less dominant arm.
Okay, so not specifically left. It's
right.
I'm so sorry, everyone listening to this for jack-off advice. I don't mean to be incorrect. But anyway,
for those of you who are left-handed and feel like you've been offended, cancel this motherfucker.
Yeah, who's gonna find me? Someone's gonna find me in 20 years. It's you. You're the one who gave me the wrong advice.
You know what? They might, and they might have a super jacked left arm because you gave them the wrong advice.
What I was going to say before we started talking about jacking it was that my wife and I actually have been looking into adoption, and we learned that the process is long.
It is extremely long, yes.
And so
it is harrowing, and you might want to consider fostering if you're going to adopt.
Yeah.
The reason for that is because fostering, they run you through the fucking gambit. Yeah. You are fucking public enemy number one when you foster.
To whom? The kids or adults?
To the adults. To the people at CPS.
Are you saying that they hate people being taken care of?
No. They will go through your fucking life so stringently that they'll know your fucking fecal DNA.
Shouldn't they do that though? That's their job.
They should.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you've ever known foster parents. A lot of them are the fucking worst.
I mean, that's the thing. The cliche I know about, and I say cliche because maybe it's not this way. The cliche I know is that foster parents are the scum of the earth.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure that not all are, and I'm not saying that not all are.
Right, and that's the thing. When you foster, you're opening your home to children that don't have a chance.
And they're children that have issues.
Right.
And and those children are carrying those issues, and they're going to carry them long after you know them.
Right.
Well, I have issues.
Right.
And I'm adopted.
Right.
I'm sorry if this is the first way you heard about this, but I'm adopted.
No, I think I signed the paperwork.
Oh, you said. Oh,
yeah.
right,
I think
okay.
I know.
I just wanted to make sure you were prepared for this conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
For real. Yeah.
I mean, I have issues, and those are things that I go to therapy to this day.
Right.
About those issues.
So you can understand that the ones that if you consider fostering, those are the kids that you have to treat in a certain manner.
Yeah.
Now the thing is when you decided to come live with us, right? Because it ultimately was your choice.
Yeah.
You understood the steps that we took, right? Where we invited your mom over, we talked to your mom, tried to talk to your grandparents, and tried to, make sure that they understood,
what was happening.
Yeah, we're not trying to,
kidnap,
induct you into a cult or anything like that, even though later it did become that.
Yeah.
Because, that is the Cambrian way.
That is the Cambrian way, yes.
But
I am prepared for the world because of the teachings.
The whole point is that I wanted them to be good with knowing that their child, right, your grandparents and your mom, knew that you were going to be in a safe environment.
I mean, I'll tell you, I don't think I was in the room for that conversation, and I think there's a good reason for it.
You weren't. You weren't.
I know there's good reason for it.
Yeah.
I can tell you, again, we're talking about hindsight. They were not okay with it. Mm-hmm. And it was very much one of those kinds of things where it was abhorrent and terrible. And I remember turning 18 and just that exact week just being like, hey, I'm moving now. I'm not coming back. And then I arrived at your house and it was like, I'm here. And that was that.
No, you moved in when you were 16.
Well, I moved in. I officially was an adult at the age of 18 to live where I wanted.
Right.
So when I say that, but I mean, yeah, I met Alex at the age of like 15 and a half.
Yeah.
And then he brought me over.
Yeah, it was like having a stray cat. We fed you once and you fucking never
I never left. Yeah, I know I never left. So I don't feel like I had a hard time. Okay. I think I definitely had pause making that decision.
Okay.
When I was that age. But I don't think I had pause making the decision because it was like I had a home or I had somewhere to leave. I never really felt like I was leaving somewhere. It always felt like I was going somewhere.
Right.
And I mean,
well, what was your attitude towards your parents? Let's say.
That's a tough one. I mean, when I think of my parents, I think of you and Mom.
Right.
I think
you're biological. I mean, I know what our relationship was, because I'm pretty sure I knew your mom in high school.
Really? You think?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I knew her in high school. Not necessarily the same high school.
Right.
But during her high school years.
I mean, again, the time that Mom, Alex and I, that Mom got pregnant was the same time that my birth mother became pregnant. Alex and I's birthday the same day.
Yeah.
So it was the same time. It was the exact same time of being pregnant.
Yeah.
In a sense. How do I feel? I mean, I don't want to ever meet or see my birth mother again. There's nothing that she can do. There's nothing she can give. There's nothing that I can give. There's nothing I can take. I left that home, and I knew that it's not that I couldn't look back, it's that I wouldn't need to.
All right.
And I've always had that feeling.
So during that time, getting to know your biological, it was strange because it was like she was living her 20s all over again.
All over again.
Because she maybe felt like she missed out.
And I know that for a fact because of the conversations she would have with me about, I mean, we're going to get a deep share, and that's fine. And we're going to keep going past an hour. Just the constant conversations of the mistake of having a child, that was me, and the fact that I stole her youth. When we were talking about choices earlier, my birth mother made a decision to get pregnant and made a decision to stay pregnant, and they made a decision to give birth, and they made a decision to keep me after birth.
Right.
Those are all separate decisions that were made.
All choices that she had.
Yeah.
You know, because there was never a time where she was forced or coerced into keeping that child.
Not at all.
And so, you know, the responsibility of having that is also a choice.
Yeah.
You know, and when you take responsibility for it, which in my opinion didn't seem like she wanted that responsibility. It seems like she pawned that responsibility off, on your grandparents.
I mean, and even then that they weren't equipped and they weren't prepared, and when you throw responsibility on someone, they then get to the choice to pick that up too.
Right.
But rarely are they prepared or able necessarily.
Or wanting for that.
Or wanting for that matter.
And so, and that's a big part because you feel that growing up. You know that growing up.
I still have that.
Yeah.
That's not something I'm going to be able to get rid of.
Right.
Even though I came into a loving home, even though I came and you and Mom were like,
right.
We're going to set you up.
The damage was done.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Because you will always have those walls. And until you decide to break down those walls, you're always going to have those walls. Those walls are always there. And, you know, it's like I grew up as pretty much an only child for about 10 years of my life. And for 10 years of my life, I was the only thing that existed in my parents' eyes. Okay? 10 years. That's a long fucking time.
Way to keep that record.
Okay? Then, after that happened, and there was a time in my life where for 5 of those years, I was the only child in their life, because older brother and sister lived with somebody else, younger brother and sister weren't in the picture, and then all of a sudden 5 years later, or after those first 5 years that I knew, this man who was my dad, I finally find out after about 5 years that he's not my biological father.
Yeah.
Don't know who my biological father is. Don't really care who my biological father is, because this man who gave up his entire life to take care of me
was your dad.
Is my dad.
Yeah.
And so, looking back on like, say, my situation where, I was the only one that was technically independent. So, my sister was the first one. My eldest sister, she was the first one. So she was expected to be a certain type of person that my mom wanted to mold her into, but she wasn't turning out that way.
Yeah.
And so my mom started, abusing her. My older brother was the prince. Okay, so he was the matriarch, or the patriarch of the family that was going to lead the family into greatness.
Yeah.
And that fucking never happened.
Yeah.
I was the black sheep.
Yeah.
I was the black sheep for at least the last 10 years.
And I really feel like that experience molded you and positioned you ready to make that decision about your responsibility and what you did.
Well, I mean,
with your life.
Everything was a choice, and I stand by that to this day. Everything was a choice of mine. When I met Mom, okay, she was already pregnant.
Yeah.
Okay, and I was like, okay, well, that's fine. You're pregnant. I like you. Let's get together.
You made a choice.
I made a choice.
And
I could have easily chosen to walk away.
Yeah. You could have easily said, I'm sorry, this is a little much for me.
Right.
And I don't think anyone could have really judged you for it.
No,
because
they wouldn't have.
It's a hard choice.
They wouldn't have. And I got judgment afterwards. When I'm sitting here talking to my family, going, well, what's the difference between me having a biological son or me having just a son? What's the difference? And I would get that shit from my mom all the time. My mom would like, well, when are you going to have one of your own? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
I own this one.
That one right there.
This one right here. I own him.
I could throw stuff. I could make him take out the trash right now.
I can make him fucking stand on his tippy toes and bow to you and curtsy. What do you want?
Yeah.
And she would always fucking ask me that. You know what I mean? Like, no, I don't know what you mean.
Yeah.
Are you not going to love this one like your own fucking grandchild? Because he is your own grandchild.
Yeah.
Because I've accepted him into my life, you need to accept him into your life. And, it's funny because, like, that's the same fucking argument that she would give me to my dad. When I found out that he wasn't my biological father, that was the same argument.
Yeah.
What's going to change? What's going to be different?
Nothing.
And I'm sitting there going, yeah, you're right. Nothing's going to be different. And if I pass that on to the next person, so, passing it on to my son and passing it on to you to ensure that my legacy, which I don't really give a fuck about.
Right.
But, my teachings are your teachings now. And you're gonna tweak those teachings.
You're gonna change
to suit your method of raising your child.
I mean, I'm going to have conversations with my child early about how I'm adopted. I'm going to have conversations about how I had a really not good childhood and that I didn't run away. Right. I very peacefully came into your house and you fed me and I never left.
Yeah.
And then the day I turned 18, I was like, I legally am leaving now. Goodbye.
Yeah.
There wasn't like cops involved.
Right.
There was some paperwork and we figured that out even years later. And
And understand, though, that even as a child, you have a choice.
Yeah.
and you're going to make those decisions. You're going to make those decisions to rebel. You're going to make those decisions to comply. You're going to make those decisions that are going to affect you one way or the other. And whether that means that you get a spanking, or whether that means that you get
sent off to the mines.
Yeah, sent off to the mines, or you get that treat.
Uh-huh.
Whatever that means. You're going to learn that those choices that you make, those consequences that you have, and those rewards that you get are all worth it because you made that choice consciously.
I do think one of the largest things I ever learned from you, Dad, was to make decisions.
Right.
To not only make them, but then to hold on to the result, because you brought that into life.
Yeah.
You brought that into this universe, the decision, the repercussions, the consequences, and the rewards of them. I've never understood people who just stand still.
I've never played the victim, and to this day, I don't like that role. I hate that role.
It doesn't do anything.
It doesn't suit me, number one, and it doesn't allow me, like. So I look at my younger brother, right? And my younger brother has anxiety, and he has, all these issues that prevent him from excelling. He's got a God-given talent, and he can draw his ass off, and he could fucking be something, but his anxiety prevents him from accomplishing that, because one thing or another affects him to a point where he ends up becoming
paralyzed.
Not really paralyzed, but so I want to say he ends up boasting and bragging, but then he can't follow through.
I see.
And so like if he gets an idea in his head and he wants to do something, he could potentially get the backing, okay? But then when it comes time to produce something, he runs and fucking hides. He disappears. He is no longer there because he can't produce what,
like under pressure.
Under pressure. He can't perform under pressure, essentially. Yeah. And he's got the talent. He definitely has the talent. He also has the ability to follow it through. But because he gets anxiety, and then it gets into his head where he doesn't think he can do it, then that causes him to fail. And he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to seek therapy for that, because of course that's in the Latino culture, that's a sign of weakness.
I mean, it's not just the Latino culture, but from the perspective of the Latino culture, it is because of a sign of weakness. And we know that growing up here in the Central Valley of California. And I mean, I still get that kind of shit because I've been going to therapy for 7 years for the issues that I have, for the things that I still carry. Like you were saying, the things that won't go away until you put them down. Yeah. And the thing is, there's still things you cannot put down. There are things that will be with you forever. Right. And I made the choice to go to therapy.
Right. Those things that aren't going to go away, you just have to accept the fact that they're not going away.
And you have to figure out what you're going to do with them.
Yeah, and you have to use them to your advantage. And if you can use them to your advantage, then you've conquered them. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
It's like a fear. If you have a fear and you can overcome your fear, then you've conquered your fear. And things like that are always going to plague us because we have free will. And a lot of times you want to run away from the things that you're afraid of,
or that you don't understand,
or exactly. Yeah. And little things like that. I'm not how would you put it,
tall?
No. When it comes to political correctness, okay, I think that there are too many people that are too sensitive. Mm-hmm, now, I understand sensitivity.
Right.
Okay?
We do need a value of sensitivity.
Right. There is a value of sensitivity, but there are people that are too sensitive. So if I sit here and talk about, how somebody who's trans, right, and let's say they they want to be respected as male or female.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem doing that.
Right.
On a personal stance, I have no problem doing that. If you're a female and you want to be addressed as a male, I will address you as whatever you tell me.
Yeah.
That is. But but if I assume, you should not be offended because you have not corrected me.
It's that you also haven't corrected me, and also you, from your perspective, are not in their life when they're making their choices.
Absolutely.
I mean, similar to what we were talking about earlier, it's like you are living your life and you have cancer, and you've made those choices around having it.
Yeah.
And it's wrong, in my opinion, for other people to assume what you're going to do about it.
Right. And those who want me to continue to fight and this, that, and the other, I am. This is me fighting.
This is your fighting.
Yeah. This is me fighting.
You haven't laid down on the ground and said it's over.
Yeah. No, I haven't taken the blue pill or the red pill or the white pill
or the whatever pill.
Yeah. I this is me fighting. This is what I want to do for however long I can.
Although I wonder if you will be able to just like get morphine at one point and just be like morphine, yeah.
Not morphium, because
sorry, that's something different.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering.
That's that new genetic drug.
The one that turns you to like a part vampire. Or something.
There you go. Actually, once I decided to go on palliative care, which palliative care is the decision where I still want to get treated normally for what ails me, but I'm not going to view any cancer related issues. So like if I have a cold or flu or whatever, I'm still going to get treated for all that. Once I'm on hospice though, and that's near the end.
Yeah.
Once I'm on hospice, yes, they will give me morphine.
Interesting.
And yes, your mom already knows the doses.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad of that.
Yeah.
We're talking about choices, and it's your choice.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was very frustrated when I learned the news.
Oh yeah, believe me. When I first heard that there's nothing that can be done, it's just maintenance.
Yeah.
At that point, I was like, all right, well, fuck, man, what am I gonna do? And that was quite literally the question I asked myself. Fuck, what am I gonna do?
It's hard because it's not like the statement of, hey, this is it. There's nowhere else to go. There's no other treatment is a revolutionary, surprising thing to be told. But it is one of those things where it's like, I'm never going to consider that because I don't have to.
Right.
And what you were saying earlier, it's like we think that we're invincible in some way.
Right.
I have a life I want to leave. I have a future that I'm right now trying to paint as we speak in every moment and every action that I take and every choice that I make. But that painting can get cut short.
Absolutely.
And it's about what am I doing until then.
Yeah. And you want to make the most of your life. You want to make the most of what you have. And that's what I think that's what the hardest decision is because everything around you is going to affect you. The way that your closest friend is all of a sudden dying of something, the way that family members are getting ill and now you have to go out and visit them, kind of like you did to me.
Yeah.
Things like that. All of that affects you, and for the longest time I was taking care of my mom, and for a minute there, like everybody else was, and the sad part is that my mom chose her choice. She got tired of going to dialysis, and that was her lifeblood at that point. And unfortunately, she got tired of it. And there's nothing you can do once you're tired. I mean, yeah, we could have 5150'd her and forced her to do it, but
it was her choice.
Yeah, and she wanted to finish off the way she did. I just wish that she maybe would have extended it maybe a month so that her kids could come and see her when she was coherent. That's the only thing that bothered me.
Yeah.
Because my sister wasn't able to get to there when she was coherent enough to talk to her. And that's one thing that I didn't want to do, is to get to a point where it's like, you guys where we don't have a conversation of what we want to say, because now you're going to regret not having that option, not having that moment to say, you know, hey, I love you, or, you know, hey, you know, you fucked up my life, or what, you know, whatever.
What needs to be said.
Right. What needs to be said. Exactly. You know, what needs to be said at that time. And that's the thing that I wanted to avoid myself. Only because I saw it with my mother. And, you know, it was a moment where there was a moment where she got clarity. And I don't know if you were there or not. I don't think you were.
I don't think I was.
No, I don't think you were there. There was a moment where she got clarity, where like she fucking recognized every one of us. She knew every one of us, and fucking spoke to every one of us. And then like the moment lasted for like a half an hour and then fucking gone. And then she was out. She couldn't remember. She didn't know. She was calling her mom at the time. So she was delusional, obviously, at that point. And that was hard. That was hard to deal with. And I don't think I ever fully processed that. I have processed it,
right,
but not fully, you know, that was one of the things that kind of weighed on me when I found out, you know, that this is terminal now.
I mean, I think we're touching on the topic of the fact that we all of us, every one of us, with our decisions that are being made or being made for us, that we're all haunted by something. And it's about how far we carry it or how far it carries us.
Yes.
And what we do with those decisions. And I, again, respect the decision you're making, because I know that you're making it from your position, from your knowledge, from your life and your history. I am going to have to carry this for the rest of my life. And it's because of the decision that you're making. I'm not angry about it. I'm not angry at you. I am frustrated about some things. But I'm not frustrated because you're doing this. I'm just frustrated that my dad's dying.
Yeah, then that's understandable.
I'm going to be carrying this fact that we're not seeking anything anymore, and that we're just going to see where life goes, and that someday you're not going to be here. I was talking to my therapist about how I'm not the most torn up about today where you're still here.
Yeah.
And we're hanging out and we're doing things together. That's not what I'm frustrated about. I'm not sure what kind of person I'm going to be the day that you're not here. What am I supposed to do on that day? Who am I supposed to be on that day?
Well,
that future is just so unknown.
Right. It is unknown. But hopefully, and take this, you know, the way it's intended, hopefully, whatever I've taught you in life on how to deal with adversity will reign supreme that day.
I think so.
And you know, you can rest assured that whatever I've done in my life to secure whatever future lies after me is essentially what you need to do in your life, is to secure whatever future lies after you. Now, that could mean a number of things.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing would be
having 10 kids.
Well, I don't know about 10. Your mom would love 10.
Yeah, she would.
But, you know, have a child. Have one child. Have two child. Have 5 children. You know, go out and engage with your kids. And go out and engage with the lives of them. You know, understand that even though people's lives get cut short, they still touch your life.
Yeah.
And that life that blended into your circle at that time is still part of you.
It will be. And I know that even after the day that you pass away, I'm going to have you with me forever. And
it may just be that annoying voice saying, "What the fuck, man? Take out the trash."
Well, no, no. Their conversations, at least for now, they're ones of like, man, if I would have invested in that early, just like my dad was saying, and it's like, man, if I would have gone to trade school, you know, would have done that.
Yeah, you know, just whatever.
Whatever those are going to be with me.
Right now, you're engaging on a new adventure. You've got a salaried position, which technically is slave labor.
We've talked about that. Yes, I know.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a paying position.
It's a paying position.
So, make sure you got a good work-life balance.
That's going to be the plan that I'm going to have to figure out. And
Yeah.
I have no qualms about being like, hey, this isn't working out from my work-life balance. So either you take this or I walk. Because I also learned that from you.
Yeah. Well, for real.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to change careers. You're still young. Like, fucking, I
am.
I didn't start my x-ray career until I was like 32.
Yeah, that's true. And you say that. But I also have always respected that the day that you said, okay, I'm going to be with, my mom, be with Heather, and I'm going to raise this kid that's not my kid. You have always committed and made a decision where it's like, okay, I'm going to start learning. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go to this school. Okay, I'm going to work 2 jobs at the same time, 3 jobs at the same time. You have always been the kind of person.
It's because I'm not afraid to struggle. Because I came from struggle. That's the thing.
And you and I know that kind of struggle isn't the worst. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to be the end. That's not the adversity in the world that we need to be afraid of.
No, you're absolutely right. That struggle is what's going to make you a better person. Man, woman, child, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
As long as you engage in that struggle and don't run away from it, it's going to make you a better person.
And I've always known that, and that's, again, one of the lessons that you've taught me, that I'm going to struggle. We will struggle. It's just a fact.
Yeah, for real.
And it's about whether or not we move forward with it.
No one's going to give you that opportunity to do better. You have to make that opportunity for yourself.
Well, just like the only person you really have to impress also is yourself.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Because nobody else gives a fuck about you.
No one's going to tell you to take out your trash.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do it yourself. And that's how it works.
I thank you for teaching me the lessons that I didn't get to have. I know I had them late.
Hey, the fact of the matter is you have them, and now you don't have to be told to do them because you've chosen to follow the rules.
Yeah.
And that's how it works.
And now I get to sit here with you and record a podcast because of that. Yeah.
Well, that's the way it works.
I think we should do this a second time.
Yeah,
I'd like that. I'd like that.
I don't mind. Yeah, I'm planning on doing something on Thursday with somebody, but the next time you come down, or maybe we can figure out
telecommunications.
Yeah. There's what is that? Riverside.
Is that an app?
Yeah, it's an app or a computer app where you can like sit in front of your camera and it's split screen.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Riverside's not too bad. It's a subscription model, which I'm not a big fan of, but
I mean, you could also use things like Discord or like Zoom.
True.
Or Google Meet.
You can do Zoom or I think Zoom would be easier.
Probably.
Yeah, I've recorded on Zoom before, so it's not that bad. But or even just what is it? There's something else out there that's free.
Oh yeah,
but it's limited bandwidth. So
yeah, there's always stuff out there.
Yeah.
I would like to do this again.
All right, so you want to kill this then?
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right,
We've done this for a while. We hit the